The writer has been deported from the United States after border agents grilled him over his views on the Gaza conflict and articles he wrote about university protests. Alistair Kitchen, a former student at New York's Columbia University, was refused entry and then detained for 12 hours at Los Angeles airport before being put on a flight back to Australia. And Alistair joins us now. Alistair, take us through what happened when when the border agents stopped you.
Well, the first thing that happened was that I went to get in that long line at LAX, which I think many of us know. Loudspeaker came on, called me over. I was pulled into the back room. And the first thing that happened is that my phone was demanded and the passcode for the phone was demanded of me. And then he sat me down and he said to me, "Look, we both know why you're here." And I said, "I didn't know why we were here." And he said, "It's because of the posts you wrote about the student protests at Columbia University."
What exactly did you write? I mean, did you write anything that might have upset them?
Well, I think that what I wrote was extremely moderate, undoubtedly sympathetic to the students and to their demands, but I did something which I think actually angered these people and the Trump administration, which is I wrote honestly about what I saw. And what I saw was no instances of anti-Semitism, which the Trump administration was very keen to claim was rife.
Right, so you write these blog entries, they don't like them. Is it as simple as that? They identify this and then they send you packing?
It's not as simple as that. I was there for 12 hours. The first 30 minutes, the first 45 minutes was spent grilling me about my views on Israel, on Gaza. I spent a lot of time trying to inform them about how I felt about a one versus two state solution. Not the type of questions that you're used to a border agent asking you. After that round of questionnaire, I then got put through the rigmarole of having my phone downloaded and searched, which I can tell you was a painful experience.
Painful in what way?
I don't know what you've got on your phone, but plenty of stuff on my phone is private. And I was sitting there in front of this border agent in a windowless room, not knowing if or when I would ever be released, looking at him, looking at some of the most vulnerable things I have. And for the second reason, because after a while he disappeared into the back office, running the software through my phone, searching it forensically. I didn't know what was going on, but he came out triumphantly. And of course, what he said to me was, "Mr. Kitchen, we've found evidence on your phone of drug use. And in your ESTA, you represented that you had not taken illegal drugs before, and sounds like you've been lying to us. I can tell you now that there's no evidence on there of drug use, but I've taken drugs before." So I didn't want to get caught out lying to him again. I told him that yes, I'd taken drugs before. And that, of course, on top of the full discretion that he already has politically, he was able to use as justification for deportation.
Okay, so you're on a plane coming in from LA with hundreds, these are big planes, right? Hundreds of people are getting off them. Why do they look down a list and go, "Oh, Alistair Kitchen's coming, we're ready"?
Yeah, I think it is because I was on the ground at the protests. And the protests are a hot button issue in the US and for the Trump administration even today. A former student, Mahmoud Khalil, still being detained by that administration. I think it was because I was a witness to it and because I was able to testify with my own eyes to what I'd seen.
Oh, so it's quite a story. You're not the only one to have had, yours has particular things, but a few more of these are starting to emerge. So we'll certainly keep an eye on it. Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.